Hey, I want to try something, and I don't think that this has been tried before. I am going to predict the future by reading the mind of another composer and extracting a piece of music that hasn't been released yet so that we can hear it today.
2018's God of War is one of the most critically acclaimed games of recent years, winning no less than 262 industry awards across a breadth of categories, one of those categories being music. The game's composer, Bear McCreary, is himself a well-known composer for film, game, and television. And he's also a bit of a lover of melody, which is why the God of War soundtrack is filled with some excellent themes, with one glaring exception.
Boy. You're a boy, aren't you?
Kratos has his masculine, brooding theme filled with power and pathos. Faye has a beautiful, melancholic lullaby that recurs throughout the game. Seemingly every character gets a theme. Baldur, Freya, Magni and Modi, Mimir, even the giants. But the other main character, integral to the game and the story, Atreus, does not. Now, I'm not saying this is an oversight. It really does make sense for him to not have a theme. He spends the whole game, and we with him, not really knowing who he is. For him to have a theme that musically describes him and where he fits into all of this would kind of undercut the story. But from what we know about God of War Ragnarok and the look of the trailer, I think it's almost a sure bet that Atreus will get his own theme. He's a teenager now. He already knows that he's part giant and part god. He's been through a lot, and he knows that he's a big part of what's to come.
Before I go through the strain and potential dangers that exist for peering into another man's mind, let's look for some clues that exist for what Atreus' theme might sound like. In whatever skeletal form, does he already have a theme? The first possibility we have comes from the story. Kratos is Atreus' godfather. That's godfather, not godfather. You know. And Faye is his giant mother. The 2018 game is a story about Kratos and Atreus coming together to fulfill Faye's dying wish and, in the end, a prophecy. What would be a better musical idea than Atreus' theme being a combination of the themes of Kratos and Faye? I listened to the full album multiple times, looking for a possible Atreus theme seedling planted somewhere. And I found one small moment in a track called The Reach of Your Godhood. Right after Kratos reveals to Atreus that he is part god, there is one melodic line on a single French horn that plays as we see Atreus' reaction. Could that be the beginnings of an Atreus theme that Bear McCreary put in there with a pin in it at a moment of self-discovery for Atreus?
I can feel it in my scrotum.
And finally, there's the Ragnarok trailer. It's got an upbeat melody played over footage of Kratos and Atreus exploring, fighting, and meeting other characters. The trailer is fairly Atreus-centric, so could this be a preview of the upcoming Atreus theme?
None of your business.
I want to put all of these ideas together. If I can find a way of mixing the themes of Kratos and Fæ and developing the fragment from the Reach of Your Godhood, and then incorporating some of the trailer music, I think we might get really close to what Bear McCreary is going to write for Atreus. To start things off, I want to open big. Atreus is more fun than Kratos and eager for adventure, so I want the theme to be lively. But first, we need to establish that this is God of War. So I want to open big with the brass, especially the low brass, stating something that is closest to Kratos' theme with a few alterations brought in from the Fæ melody. Now it's time to up the tempo and work on the Reach melody. So let's do a fun ostinato to keep an adventurous rhythm, underscoring the reworked melody. Now let's put in some plucked and strummed mandolin-like stuff in there. There's a good amount of this in the 2018 soundtrack, though it's probably not mandolin, but it always reminds me a bit of the Diablo soundtrack, or even more to the source of Led Zeppelin's The Battle of Evermore. Now, the one thing that might be the most necessary to pull this off is some choir. All of the God of War games have had some really major choir parts. In 2018's, Bear had some lyrics written in Old Norse, and then he recorded them with a choir in Iceland because Icelandic is the closest modern language to Old Norse. I don't have an Old Norse scholar available to me, but I do have Google Translate.
No! What have you done? Why did you do that?
People of Iceland, if any of you are watching, please accept my deepest, most sincere apologies for what I'm about to do. But as they say, it's always easier to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. So I wrote some lyrics for Atreus, just short phrases to keep it simple, translated them into Icelandic, and then used my best non-educated guess on how to pronounce them. Then, for probably my favorite part, I found some really fantastic singers willing to collaborate on this, and we recorded a virtual choir. A lot of these guys came from the virtual video game orchestra Discord. If you haven't checked them out before, you really need to. They do these amazing video game music covers where they assemble a full orchestra worth of recordings of people and put it all together. I'll link some of their videos down below. And some came from the Media Man's Discord server, which is full of some really great, fantastic, supportive composers. It's a really nice online community. I'm so thrilled that I got to work with some of these really talented singers and musicians. Okay, the research is done, the idea is outlined. I guess it's time to do this. Bear McCreary, I'm very sorry if this hurts at all. I'll try to be as quick as I can.
There it is. Did I do it? Did I capture what Atreus' theme will sound like? I don't know. We'll find out when God of War Ragnarok eventually comes out. I at least think that I did manage to make a good God of War tribute. Bear McCreary, if you happen to somehow see this, did I get close?
Anyway, this was a very fun project that really stretched me as a composer. It pushed me out of my comfort zone, especially reaching out for help with those choir parts. And I want to thank the amazing musicians that helped me to sing those parts. You'll find their names up on the screen right now and links to more of their work in the description down there. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and really want to see me take on more projects like this, give me your suggestions in the comments down below. I really want to hear what you think and hear some of your ideas. So that's it. Looking forward to God of War Ragnarok coming out later this year, and we'll see you later.